we remember her.
Amid the sadness, there was admiration for the courage of Heather Heyer. When neo-Nazis, white supremacists, white nationalists gathered in her small town, she took to the streets to confront them.
You come from a long line of stubborn and passionate women.
And Heyer's mother taunted those who carried swastikas and shouted racist slogans in Charlottesville over the weekend.
They tried to kill my child to shut her up. Well, guess what? You just magnified her.
If one of the purposes of this rally by the so-called alt-right was to prevent the removal of statues glorifying the American Confederacy, some here say their actions have backfired.
And I think people are learning the history of how these monuments were put up in the 1920s and 30s and 1960s and how they symbolize racism. They didn't come after the Civil War. Robert E. Lee himself didn't want them and so forth. There is some education going on.
But the monuments to white supremacy still stand in Charlottesville, even as they begin to fall in cities around the US. A debate is underway into whether there will now be a deep examination of how racism permeates US society, or whether the focus will simply remain on the alt-right alone.
The violence that is brought at the tip of the spear by those carrying swastikas for rallies like we saw, that's one expression of it, but it is empowered by so many systems in the United States.
As for those who overtly espouse white supremacy, they've made it clear, as far as they're concerned, they have an ally in the White House and they intend to march again in cities around the country. Shihab, Rattansi, Al Jazeera, Charlottesville, Virginia.